Hello, everybody. My name is Roy Nemer of Mundo Albiceleste.com. A big Argentina win, a very lucky Argentina win, and I am very lucky because I am joined by none other than the one, the only, the living legend himself, Sebastian Garcia. Seba, how are you?
And still undefeated. Hey, hello, how are you? How are you, Roy?
I'm
Um,
good.
woohoo! That was that was difficult. Yeah,
It was at one point that 26 matches undefeated did not look like it was going to be 26. It was going to stop at 25.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I went straight to it. I didn't say hello to everybody here. Um, of course, we're now gonna in a little bit we're gonna do a little walk around the place. Check out the different continents where people are checking this video. As always, there's people from everywhere. Pretty soon we're gonna start saying hello to some of you. But always, you're always welcome, and we're always happy to be here with you to talk about Argentina, of course.
Yes, and it's that much sweeter when it's a big month like it is right now. Uruguay today, Brazil in a couple of days, and we'll talk about Brazil in just a little bit. I do see some people in the chat. We're already starting. Cleon is from Jamaica. Shibo asks, it's 27 unbeaten. I believe it's 26. I think I counted it before the.
You know I'm not very good with numbers, but
We'll, we'll see. We'll take a look at it.
I'll take 27. Yeah, 27 is
I'll,
it sounds good. Yeah.
Sounds like a good number. It sounds like a good number. So Cleon from Jamaica, Paro Miguel from Nigeria, 2:42
Nice.
a.m. Wow,
Whoa.
2:42 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
Paro, one of the regulars. Yeah, thank you for always being there for us,
yes.
especially this late. So yeah,
Especially this late.
thank you.
Yes,
We really
absolutely.
appreciate it. Yeah,
Yeah. And he's there you go. He's telling us it's 26. It is 26 matches. So we are correct. We're pretty good at numbers, I guess.
good, good, good,
I
good.
suppose.
Ooh,
From Vanuatu.
Vanuatu. Yeah, nice.
Mhm.
Oceania, nice.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised to see someone from Vanuatu. But it's amazing. It just goes to show you how global the
Yeah.
national team of Argentina is. Thank you for logging in. It must be already Sunday over there in Vanuatu. The time
they're,
difference is huge. Yeah, it's
they're,
Saturday. I my guess is that it's Saturday 11:42 a.m. That's my guess, but
we'll see.
I may be 1 or 2 hours off. But um, really, really glad to see someone from Vanuatu. I think he's the first one from Vanuatu that we have.
I I believe so. Yes. I
Yeah,
don't recall anyone from there, but thank you for joining us. MN, another one. What's up,
yeah.
buddy? I hope you're well. We're doing good. Shibu from India, Bangladesh at 7:43. Good morning from Bangladesh as well. Georgia at
Nice.
5:44. Um, Canada. Hello. Hello. So kind of you were close, Seba. You were close.
There you go. Nice.
11 a.m. 11 a.m. in Vanuatu. And you know your geography as well.
Yeah.
You know your geography. All right. Should
So
we get to
yeah,
it, Seba? Let's get to the
yeah. Let's
game.
go. Let's go. Let's go.
Um,
I was you and I just before we went on air. We were talking about there's all sorts of statistics. We're very used to, the old ones, the classic ones, shots on goal, possession, time of possession,
yeah.
all these things that make up, a little bit of the different story and the analysis of the game. And there's a lot of new statistics, and one of them is the expected goals statistics. Is one that takes a while for you to get used to it, and at first you may feel it's a bit unfair or not. Um, not a clear indication of what happened in the game, but tonight's expected goal statistics tell a little bit of a story, because there you go. Thank you, Roy. The expected goals. That means Uruguay were expected to score 1.62 goals. Like, this is an average, right? Of course, this is a formula. This is a calculation that they make, and it comes from how clear the scoring opportunities are in the game for the team. And for Argentina, it was 0.47. That means, nobody expected Di Maria to score from there, or any player. I mean, for that statistic in particular, uh, those things are considered, like distance from the goal, the angle, how difficult or easy the chance is. And we didn't, to be honest, if you rewind the game in your head, you can count too many scoring opportunities for us or too many saves by Muslera. Uh, and on the other hand, it tells a story that we have a huge goalkeeper. Uh, his own form. He's giving us a lot of security
Yeah,
and this this feeling that you're safe with him beneath the three post post. So there you go. I think it tells a story. I wanted to start there because it's significant, and I think it tells a story that these were 3 points that perhaps were not there for us
expected.
tonight. Yeah, or
Yeah,
expected. Yeah,
this was one of those games where if it was a league match and in a league season, this was a league match. This would be one of those games that would end up winning you the league title because Argentina did not play very well, relied on their goalkeeper, got an absolutely incredible goal from Di Maria, and still somehow won away from home versus Uruguay. And this was, I mean, you look at the statistic here, as mentioned, obviously these are expected, but essentially it is this. Argentina's only real threat on goal was Di Maria's effort. Aside from the Acuna play to Messi at the end, that was really it. Joaquin Correa had a half a chance. Other than that, not much. Uruguay, I mean, so many opportunities, and Emiliano Martinez kept it at 0-0. Obviously, that big save about 10 minutes into the match before Di Maria scored, and it was not easy. It was not easy, and Fardin, wrote it in the chat. It was nail biting because
yes,
it was not an easy match.
yeah. And you know what? I wanted to say that for all the statistics that are out there, for all the logical things, for all the expected things, that goal from Di Maria, it was beautiful because it was unexpected. It was only him and very few players can pull out something like that out of nothing, out of nowhere. I think I was really happy to see Dybala fighting for that ball, winning it back, and then passing it to Di Maria, and then Di Maria just provided us with a spark of magic, and the ball was in. And it was one of those, because of the angle of the camera, it was one of those moments in which you knew it was going in right after he shot it. So that was beautiful. And to be honest, I expected the gates to be open from that moment on. It wasn't to be, but at least we got at least we got in the score sheet, and we won it. Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
to that moment of brilliance.
it was the opposite of the last match at the Monumental last month. It was very different. Argentina fully dominated that match. Everyone, obviously Messi played, but everyone was just on their game. This one was obviously mentioned not too easy. A lot of misplaced passes. Dybala, a lot of expectations when it came to Dybala, especially earlier in the week when people were talking about, is Messi going to play? If he's not going to play, Dybala might be in the starting 11 in his place. And then you messaged me. We were kind of
Yeah,
talking a little bit throughout the day, and then you said Dybala starting, and yeah, I think we agreed. You said something along the lines of Dybala has to play the match of his life because you knew Uruguay were going to come out and they were going to give it everything they had and we're going to take a look at this in a little bit, but they needed the points. They needed
yeah,
goals. They needed the points.
absolutely.
They didn't get it.
Yeah,
And it's going to
yeah.
be tough for them.
Comparing it with the previous Argentina Uruguay from recent, like it was last month, right? I think, yeah,
Yeah.
it was
It
pretty
was in
much a month
October.
ago. Yeah. The first goal was also unexpected, but for different reasons. You remember,
Of course.
Messi played it like
Lo
tried
Celso, was
to
it?
pass it. Yeah,
To Lo
I think
Celso, he tried to pass it.
he played for Nicolas
Yeah,
Gonzalez,
Nicolas Gonzalez.
but
Yes.
he didn't touch it, and the ball went in. That was unexpected as well. It wasn't as brilliant as tonight's goal, and yeah, that was pretty much the only coincidence from last month to today, because uh, today was different. I think all credit to Uruguay. They played
Yeah.
very well. They played a lot better than recent games. Um, but I thought. at some point during the first half, they were pressing really high. They were winning the ball back. They were creating chances, giving us all sorts of
Mhm,
problems. And
mhm.
I felt like there's no way these guys can keep it up, keep this intensity level for the whole 90 minutes. We just have to weather the storm right now, and then probably hit them with a counterattack in the second half. It wasn't to be. There could have been a couple of chances there for us in the second half. It wasn't to be, but at least we hold on for the win, which was really really huge. And now we're
Yeah,
in a little while we can start doing some of the start doing some of the numbers games. Yeah, the numbers games
yeah,
for both Argentina and the rest of the World Cup qualifying uh, lineup in South America, because it's gonna be war for them,
it's yeah.
for a lot of them. Yeah.
From four, what we're gonna take a look at, but from about 4 to 7 or 4 to 6, it's extremely close, extremely
Yes.
close. Um, and one thing, let me ask you, Seb, I'm gonna ask
Yeah.
everybody in the chat as well. It looked to me, and maybe it's just me, but it looked to me as if maybe Scaloni had one eye on the match versus Brazil tonight. One of the main reasons was his substitutions. He did three substitutions very, very early on. Obviously, Dybala was replaced at just about halftime by Joaquin Correa, and then Angel Correa was brought in, and then Papu Gomez. And Papu Gomez and Angel Correa, I remember, were brought in about the 55th minute, and he
Mhm.
rested a lot of the regulars. Lautaro, Dybala was substituted early. Obviously, Messi we know about, uh, and Paredes didn't start due to injury. But do you think Scaloni kind of had one eye on Brazil, especially with the substitutions coming so early?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he also had something in mind that was very important, which is the players that were carrying a yellow card that
Mhm.
would miss the Brazil game, and he replaced some of them, like Lautaro, De Paul. Dybala received the yellow card, and what I heard is that he had a bit of a knock. He was a bit of a he could be down to injury, that he got replaced. And yeah, the rest. Um, it all it all pointed towards this theory that Scaloni was preparing the team for Brazil, and rightly so. I think it was, but also I think he was trying to find solutions in game
Yeah,
for the problems that Uruguay were presenting us, because we couldn't hold on to the ball, we couldn't, keep it when we had possession, and so he introduced players like Papu, Correa. They're good on the ball. Both Correas are very good on the ball. They can hold on to the
yeah,
ball and play the little short passing games. But I think you're right. I agree with you in terms of preparing the team for Brazil. Try not to suffer any casualties
yeah.
and suspensions for next Tuesday, and one would expect for Messi to play from the start on Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely. This was, to be honest with you, as the news was coming out throughout the weekend, they said, especially late Thursday, when they said Messi's going to start versus Uruguay, if he was going to start, there was no way he was going to play the 90 minutes. And if he was going to play, it was probably wiser to bring him on as a substitute as opposed to play him 45 minutes and then substitute him out. I think this was the right decision. I think, like you said, I think he has that one eye on Brazil. And we have a comment here. The Brazil match is so huge, so sure. Scaloni is preparing for that already. He is. And another thing as well that I thought he had a really good game, Acuna, especially that drive towards the end of the match, that pass to Messi, that had vintage Zanetti right there. Do people still do
Yeah,
that, Seba? I think you're showing your age. Do people still do
yeah. No, this means.
that?
Well, I don't know what this means in different countries. It could
That
be.
just means
Yeah,
like
it could be
wow, wow.
offensive in some cultures. I don't know.
I don't know.
I assure you, it's not offensive. He is like,
I know.
oh
I
my,
know.
I can't
Like, wow.
express how good he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also want to congratulate Diego Godin on a fantastic career, but he retired. Acuna retired Godin really late in that game. I think everybody knew what was going to happen, what Acuna was trying to do. and he pulled it off. He went 1 versus 2 Uruguayan players, and there was no problem for him. But apart from that moment of that catches the eye more than other actions, I felt like he was part of the best three from Argentina tonight. He was solid all around. He had no problems defensively, perhaps a little bit in the first half. Uh, when we were under a lot of pressure, but then he was always safe on the ball. He was always giving oxygen to the rest of the team, because he can hold on to the ball, draw a foul. He's always passing it to the right option that's in front of him. And I really liked that nickname, Baby Zanetti. I think it's good. It's a good one. But yeah, that was a very good game. I think the other two outstanding players for Argentina tonight, for me, Dibu Martinez and Cuti Romero, especially first
Yeah.
half for Cuti
Wow.
Romero was imperial,
Wow.
as they say. Amazing,
He,
amazing. Yeah,
at one point, and I agree. I'll go with those two, and I'm not sure if I'd go with Acuna for the third. I mean, for me, it's between him and I thought De Paul specifically in the second half was very good, especially in tight spaces. But I remember there was a play, there was an incident in the first half with Romero where he won the ball in the air, chested it down, and he just kind of dribbled around a couple of players and passed it, and it just showed his composure, and he looked like a veteran. And we
yeah,
continue to say this every single match, every time we're on this post show. You could go back and you could watch it. We keep talking about Romero, about how he's the veteran on the team, even though he plays with Otamendi. He looks like he's the guy that's kind of steering that ship. And him and Dibu Martinez, both of them
yeah.
were
And you have to consider they're both. This stuff. We didn't plan it. I didn't prepare this, but both of them, they don't have 20 caps for Argentina.
no,
There,
no.
there must be
I'll take a
yeah. I think they don't even have 10 caps for Argentina. They might be around 10 caps, but they're playing like as if they had already 50 games for the national teams for
yeah.
the national team. So they have been incredible for Argentina since they started playing, and this is all credit to Scaloni. Yeah,
Christian Romero has nine caps
you
for
see,
Christian Romero.
not even 10 games.
No.
And Dibu Martinez may have a little bit more, but and I
Uh,
hear my kids are fighting. They're playing
it's
a
okay.
game and they're
It's
fighting. Yeah,
a
I don't know if if it goes through the microphone, but I can hear it.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Dibu has 12
All
matches.
right. So
So
not even 20. I mean, just 21 caps combined for the two of them, and they're playing like
they have 200 and
centurions. Yeah,
caps. Yeah.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
But also what they provide to the rest of the team. That what I was saying earlier, that sense of security. They can do.
Everything.
They can play with a little bit more freedom and liberty to do other stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be unpopular opinion, but I didn't think De Paul had a great game. I think he was a bit shaky, at least in the first half. He grew up.
Yeah.
He grew as the game went on. He improved, but I wouldn't rank this game among the best performances for him in the national team. And I know that this is only due to the full confidence that I have in him and the
Yeah.
potential that he has, and also the level of performances he's been providing for Argentina since he started becoming a regular. So tonight, I don't think it was one of the best games that he had, but he improved as the game went on.
Yeah.
And of course, it's not. I'm not saying he played a bad game or anything like that,
No.
but he
No.
we know
I,
he can do a lot better. Yeah.
oh, definitely. I mean, you just go back, you watch his last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 matches with Argentina, and you'll see he's capable of doing much better than that. Cleon writes Molina was good. I'll agree with that. I thought Molina
Yeah.
was actually very, very solid. He looked comfortable out there. His confidence was high. And it was kind of risky for him because he wasn't, at one point, Scaloni was going back and forth, him or Montiel. And now it looks like it's him. Oddly enough,
Yeah.
since Montiel went to Sevilla, it's been Molina.
Yeah, Montiel, I think he has a bit of an issue with the injuries, but
Yeah.
Molina, I think what you can see in Molina is the speed that he has.
Mhm.
It's he's been used to play in at a very high level in the Serie A, and he knows some of his teammates for Argentina, so he feels comfortable. And tonight, I think he had a solid performance. I agree
Yeah.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah. One person who I know a lot of people were kind of writing about it in the chat, and this is a very good way. I mean, writes, felt the midfield was poor today, defense was very good. Regarding the midfield, I was expecting better from Guido Rodriguez. I
Yes.
know lately, ever since he's played instead of Paredes, he's put in, defensively, he's been solid and his positioning and everything. Tonight, he just kind of looked, I don't know.
Mm,
He got red carded versus for Betis in the last match versus Sevilla, and it
mhm.
was kind of like he was continuing that form in this match. And hopefully Paredes is fit to play versus Brazil. If he is, I don't know if he's going to be fully fit because if we get the same Guido that we got tonight against Brazil, it's not going to be very pretty.
Yeah. No, Guido. It's understandable. You could have a bad game
Of
every now and
course,
then. He's very solid. He's always playing. At a good enough level. Um, he when he play against, correct me if I'm wrong, but he played against Uruguay in the Copa America. He scored.
yes,
We
yeah,
beat them and he scored. Had a
yeah,
great game there, and we were like, "Oh my God, yeah!" So all of a sudden, we have two very solid number fives, as we call it
yeah,
in Argentina, the central midfielders. And tonight, you know, we can talk a lot about him and his performance, but as I said earlier as well, we should give Uruguay some credit as well because
absolutely.
they have high quality players and
And they
they
were missing some
made
players.
they were missing some players like George Andarrascaeta, who I read really highly, and he plays for Flamengo. He's amazing. Um, they were without Cavani as well today, but they have a core of players that are really, really talented. They have like four lungs each. You have Knight Hernandez, you have Valverde, you have Vecino, you have a lot of quality there, and they made our midfielders' lives difficult tonight. So
They did.
it's never easy to play these kind of games. We played away against a desperate team. We can slowly start talking about the numbers, the league table. Yeah, the World Cup qualification done. Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a good
What do
one.
you guys think? Yeah, what do you guys think?
Do you
Not
think so?
mathematically, not yet.
Not yet, but
We need a few more points to qualify.
yeah, yeah. This is a very good. I mean, I know we're not really going to talk too much about numbers, but this is a very good statistic right here. So 28 points out of 18 last time. This time we have 28 out of 12, and like you said, Seb, I mean, we were away versus Uruguay, which is never ever easy. More often than not, we end up drawing or we end up losing versus them. The last time we won was it Mario Ballatti in 2010 with Maradona. So it hasn't been easy. I mean, obviously, I remember the match versus when Sabella was in charge. I think Maxi Rodriguez scored twice, and it was 3-2. So it's never easy versus them. They need the points, and we were without Messi, and that show. I mean, essentially, this team was able to win away while not playing very well versus Uruguay without Messi. That has to. I mean, that has to be some sort
Yeah.
of something for them, a confidence booster.
Yeah, and talking about the numbers, I just said we need a few more points to qualify, but
Yeah,
I will rephrase that. I think we can qualify even if we lose all our remaining matches. And that's how strong our
should.
position is because, it's very difficult that you can imagine five other teams or four other teams reaching
Yeah.
28 points because they are, you know, at the moment, if you can put
You want me to bring it
the
up?
league
Yeah,
standings, yeah, the league
absolutely.
standings there, because at the moment you can see there are three teams on 16 points. One of them is Uruguay, and look at this funny thing. They have the same
Wow.
points. One of them is going straight to the World Cup. The other one is going to playoff, and the other one is out.
Out.
Like Uruguay, if it was over today, they will be out, but they will be on the same points as Chile.
Yeah.
They're level, but out on goal difference. But as I said, they play. They have to play each other in the next few games. Some of those
Yeah.
teams. So I doubt, come the end of the
Oof.
World Cup qualifiers, more than four teams will be on 28 points. We may lose all our remaining games. Not that I think it's going to happen, but if worse were to happen, I still think we are on a very good position to qualify, regardless. And if we win against Brazil, that's to me that's it. It could
That's it.
be over mathematically as well.
Yeah.
Um,
We so for Argentina, before we get to the other teams, sorry, just one moment. So Argentina, Brazil, then we're away to Chile, then at home to Colombia, at home to Venezuela, and away to Ecuador. So essentially, on paper, and I'm sorry, obviously with all due respect to every team, on paper the easiest match remaining is the home match versus Venezuela,
mhm,
because I mean, look, against Brazil, it's Brazil.
mhm.
Chile away. Chile need the points. You were just talking about them, Seba. And
Yep.
then Colombia at home. We're hosting Colombia. You know Colombia needs the points. And then
Yes.
away to Ecuador as well. And at that point, Ecuador might already be qualified if we take a look. So they're
Agree.
creating some distance. They're creating some distance, especially when it comes to goal difference. I mean,
Hmm.
+8 as well for them. So we don't have an easy schedule left, but the hard part is done.
Yeah, but then, talking about the like forgetting about Argentina for a while, because it's
Yeah.
really interesting and it's really nice to see, how this develops. But these last couple of rounds have put them all together there, between the fourth place and the second from bottom. There's only 4 points,
Yeah.
which is incredible.
Yeah.
Bolivia they have to host Chile in one of the remaining games.
But
Chile have to play Argentina and Brazil, so Chile
Bolivia
have
host.
a
Sorry,
very difficult. Hmm.
yeah, Bolivia host Uruguay next. If they win, Bolivia's on 15, Uruguay's on 16.
Yeah, and that result will practically qualify us to Qatar
Yes. Yeah.
without even have to
No,
hit a
no, no
football. Yeah,
playoffs or anything like that.
yeah. So I'm curious to
It's
see the rest of the World Cup qualifiers. We got to a point in which we can pretty much be assured of qualification. So yeah, it's more about, continue to build the team spirit. Um, try to, um, continue to practice some of,
yeah,
in real time, like in real life scenario,
yeah.
competitive games. Try to see the best from the team. Probably try some players, but everybody would agree that the core of the team is already there. Um,
Yeah.
if the World Cup were, to happen tonight or tomorrow, I
You
think
would be confident.
20 players will be sure of their
Yeah.
spot in the World Cup, um, or more. Maybe maybe the entire list, is already confirmed. But a lot can happen in one year. Let's not get, ahead of ourselves, yet.
No,
But
no, there's still a lot to happen. But you know what? I will say this, and without going into too much detail, if you watch the European qualifiers or you watch some of the European teams, I mean, even Italy was not really that impressive today, and some of the other teams. So it's all to play for. Like you said, a lot can happen between now until the World Cup, but the core players are there for Argentina. And if Scaloni keeps selecting these players, and especially the youngsters, and I mean, obviously none of the youngsters made the bench this time around for tonight. But
mhm.
if you have a player like Julian Alvarez who continues to perform the way he's performing for River, essentially, does he end up becoming a substitute instead of Joaquin Correa when Lautaro's brought off? Do you bring in Julian Alvarez? Uh,
Yeah,
there's a lot.
he had a bit of, he was feeling some pain and
Yeah.
had to run some tests, and maybe that's why he wasn't introduced tonight, or considered. But that boy, he's very special. He's a very special player, that we're really lucky to have, with an Argentine passport. So we'll see. Um, I don't want him to go to Europe, right now, this season or next year, because I would like him to stay in the spotlight, play at a competitive level for River. Be sure that he's going to be starting, every game. because if he goes to Europe in the same season of a World Cup, it could be mentally very dragging for him. It could mean that he's not gonna play week in week out because chances are if he goes to a big team like those who are
Juventus, for
chasing him,
example.
like Juventus, Fiorentina. I heard so many West Ham. I heard so many clubs interested in him, but there's no guarantees that he's gonna go there and play right away. So um, I would recommend him if I was his agent or his dad or whatever, that he should stay here, play for this huge club that River Plate is, and have be the center of attention like he's doing, score 4 goals a game, whatever. Um, just stay here, focus on the year before the World Cup, make sure you make the team, and then you will have time to shine in Europe.
Yeah, he's he's gonna obviously he's still very very young, and the potential is there, and the fact that he was already selected for the Copa America and he won the Copa America, so he's part of the squad. He is the core, and there is some competition, but at the same time, he's slowly gaining momentum. To be honest, I
Mhm.
don't. I mean, Joaquin Correa hasn't impressed too much with Argentina the last couple of matches. We have a shout here for Giovanni Simeone with Verona in Italy. He leads Serie A in
Again,
goals.
again,
Yeah.
I'm doing this for a second time tonight. He's
um,
he can't miss. I mean, he should be considered. Yeah, we were
yeah,
thinking about it. It's not like we are very rich in terms of options up front.
not
I
anymore.
think we should. I think we should not consider Icardi anymore. He's
Mm.
too.
I mean, we were talking about this last
Uh,
time when we said maybe Icardi, and then 2 3 days later, everything happened on his
yeah,
social
no,
media with his wife. And
yeah. I don't want to use
no, we're not gonna
uh,
go on that. We're not gonna go on that.
adjectives, but he's not. His head is not in the right place. I mean,
No,
he's blowing this chance. He even threatened to quit football altogether if his wife didn't,
kind
take
of
him
come
back.
back, and
Yeah, he's
and
he
you
had it
know
all. He had it all for him. He had it all. Like he was in a
everything.
good place. Messi came to his club. You all of a sudden
Yep,
you have the opportunity to play with Messi, Di Maria,
Paredes,
Paredes every day of the week, and he just
nothing,
dropped. Yeah,
nothing.
he just dropped the ball.
And another one. I mean, I guess maybe now since we're talking about strikers on maybe a not so not so good note, Sergio Aguero.
Oh,
That's yeah, another one. He was part of the squad, obviously part of the Copa America. Was initially part of the World Cup qualifying squad in September, then got injured, and now
hmm.
I mean, obviously a lot of rumors going around regarding his future, whether he's going to retire or not, could he play? He addressed the situation earlier today. He said, he's going to continue listening to the doctors and recovering, and there's still another 3 months to go. But I mean, you would think this potentially could be the end for his footballing career.
Yeah, these things are no joke. Obviously, a lot worse could have happened. I'm pretty sure he realizes that. He was apparently the news that came out of Barcelona today was that um, he has an arrhythmia. I
Yeah,
think it's called.
yeah.
I don't know if it's called that in English, but
Arrhythmia, yeah, heart arrhythmia.
arrhythmia. And those things are. He needs to continue doing some studies. It's not 100% confirmed that he has to retire, but of course he'll be very wise to follow medical
Yeah,
um, directions. And isn't there's no secret he was coming to the end of his
of course.
career slowly. We're not retiring him because he could still play at a high level. He had a history of injuries. He wasn't on top form. He joined a new club, scored in a Clásico. You know, nobody doubts his quality, but now I think it's more a time for him to focus on what's important. Health is wealth, as MN is saying in one of the comments, and you don't wanna risk it. And
No, he's he's accomplished so much. He's at the end of his career, as you mentioned. I mean, other than this, it's either this or potentially maybe in a few years go back to Independiente. But he's played in a World Cup final. He's won a Copa America. He's played in a Champions League final. He's an absolute legend at Manchester City. Highest top goal scorer in Premier League history as a foreigner.
Mhm.
He's, I mean, his career speaks for itself. And as the comment said, health is wealth. And
Mhm.
this is probably the best decision. If he could come back and play, that'd be great to see him. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's done it. He's done pretty much everything there is to do, and it's
Mhm.
sad. It's sad because Barcelona felt like maybe a new beginning for him. Like I said, he scored in the Clasico against Madrid, and just as he was coming back from injury, and this happens to him. So
Yeah, yeah. No, we of course, on behalf of everybody here at Mundo Albiceleste, we wish him well, of
absolutely,
course, and let's hope it this goes away. Let's hope he can continue play in the future, in the near future. But all our thoughts, and I'm sure everybody's prayers are going his way. He's very liked. He's a beloved character among the squad. So everybody wishes him well, and of course, let's hope he can bring his career to an end when he wants it, and not
yeah,
when you know a
he's forced.
condition like this is forcing him out of the game. So
Yeah,
yeah, we wanted to take a moment to acknowledge this and to dedicate a few words to him. He made us happy throughout so many years wearing the national team shirt. Uh, we can talk about him later some
we can
other
do a separate
some
video.
other time. Yeah, but I still remember, and I was lucky enough to be there at the stadium when he scored 2 goals against Brazil in the semifinals of the Olympics. And I know the Olympics are not very big to a lot of people, but trust me, that game was really big. He scored two, Riquelme scored the other. We beat them 3-0. Another game against Brazil is coming. So maybe we can start talking a little bit about it. I saw in the
Yeah,
comments
yeah,
they were talking about the speculations about what's going to happen with the interrupted game that we had in Brazil.
yes,
Um, so what we said back then when it happened, we said, you know what, they're going to leave it really late for a decision to be made, and they're going to wait until both teams are qualified. So none of the decisions that they take will impact negatively on any of these teams. So
yeah,
this is what's happening. They are like appealing and delaying the decision and whatever. And maybe next Tuesday, if things go well for us, maybe the two teams are qualified to the World Cup, and then we'll hear the decision. And common sense and a lot of factors would indicate that we will get the 3 points. But to be honest, I want to play. I would rather play than winning the points on a desk, as they said. So yeah, we'll see. There's no word on it. I haven't heard any any indications of decision. So um, let's focus on Tuesday. We play at home,
yeah.
and we have
There's,
another good opportunity to go for it.
yeah, there's obviously, I think we all want the win versus Brazil, be it the one on Tuesday or the one that was postponed. There was one question floating around a couple of times, and I want you to take on it, but before we jump into the match versus Brazil, because this is an interesting one, and I know a lot of people were talking about a lot of the players when Scaloni announced the list. But what's your take on Enzo Fernandez of River Plate? Do you think maybe not against Brazil, but do you think potentially down the line he could maybe crack the team uh,
Um,
eventually?
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about him and others that made the list, and even for us that we cover Argentina, we've been here for ages. When we saw the list for these couple of rounds, we saw names that we haven't heard before, and we're not embarrassed or ashamed to
No,
say it.
no,
Um, not I'm not talking about Enzo Fernandez, who we know
of
he's
course.
playing for River Plate. He's in the team. He's got a very promising future. I wouldn't select him among the two, three options to start. There are others that are ahead of him in terms of experience, quality, um, getting used to play against you know the very very difficult and top opposition. But I like him, but you know there'll be time for him to break into the team slowly. He's in the squad as there are others, and there's a Gomez Hert is living the dream, of course. Let's talk a little bit about him because he was a perfect unknown until a couple of weeks ago. He plays for Tigre. Tigre are a second division outfit. They played several years in the first division, and they were in the first division a couple of seasons ago. They're a traditional team, a lot of history from the northern area of the Greater Buenos Aires. It's not very far from River Plate Stadium. If you take your car is 20 minutes from River. It's not far, and they're very popular in that area. Well, he's playing for them, but he's like a third choice goalkeeper for them, second or third choice goalkeeper for them. He's very young. I think he's 17, 18. Uh,
17. 17. Let me.
17.
I'll double check. I don't even think
And
he has a Wikipedia page.
all right, all right. And he's taller than Dibu, taller than Muso. He's like a bit of a giant. I mean, he's one to look out for the future. And of course,
17.
I wouldn't think he expected to be selected. But it's good. It's good to see that Scaloni is throwing some curveballs to the entire media because people were like, He called the goalkeeper a second choice goalkeeper from a second division.
Yeah.
What's going on?" But maybe this is part of a master plan. Who knows? Who knows? Of course, he made Gomez Hearth day or even year with
Of
that
course.
news, with a bit of that bit of a phone call. But it's good. It's good to see that. There were a bunch of players from Boca, from River, young players. There's a player from Juventus, um,
Matthias.
Matias Soule,
Sole.
but he didn't play for Juventus first team yet. He's very young, so there's a that was a little bit of an interesting thing that we wanted to also take a moment to share with you. Um, and yeah, there's
Yeah.
a mention about Mesa or Saracho in the comments. Look, Saracho is really flying right now. He's top of the league with Atletico Mineiro in Brazil. He was in and out of the national team. I think he was unlucky because he was called up a couple of times and he got injured both times. I think at some points during the game tonight, I was thinking we need we need someone like Saracho today because he's like a proper box to box, non-stop running. He would chase you down. He would step on both areas, and he's very handy. He brings a lot of energy. Um, he's young. He's already fan favorite at Atletico Mineiro, a big team in Brazil. So I would like for him to be included in the squad. We'll see. We'll see what the future brings for him. But yeah, I'm really keen on seeing him, and I hope he gets another chance.
Yeah. He's I mean at one point he was kind of when it wasn't Molina, before Molina was in the squad, it was Saracho, as you mentioned, was him a lot of the times in and out, and Montiel as well.
Hmm.
But we'll see. Scaloni's shown in the past that he's not afraid of calling up new players.
Hmm.
Old or some the older players like Papo Gomez, for example,
Hmm.
even some of the younger guys. So if he continues to perform well, why not? There's still 1 year left in the World Cup. A lot can happen, as you mentioned, Seba, and who knows? It's something. And regarding one of the players, was Soli was going to be called up by Italy. This is why Scaloni called him up. Scaloni only seems to select players when he is forced to do so.
I would agree with the first
Mm,
part. Yeah, that
yes,
sounds logical. But about the
maybe not the
second part,
second.
remember he was the one bringing Dibu Martinez. Nobody forced him to do it. And
Christian Romero.
on the opposite, I mean, on the contrary, everybody here in the media and all the people that form the opinion of the public opinion. They were calling for Armani. He plays for River, of course. They were talking about Andrada Rossi, who played for Boca. Now nobody mentions Andrada anymore because he went to play for Mexico. So it wasn't because they liked Andrada. It was because they wanted to see the Boca goalkeeper in the national team. That's always the case. But the list doesn't stop there. He started calling De Paul and putting him in the as a starting player. Uh,
Hmm.
he brought this change of generation, change of guard, and I don't think it's fair to say he was forced to do that because Sampaoli had the chance to do it and he didn't do it. He continued to bring on the same guys
Yeah,
that were tested and kept failing. So yeah, I think I agree with the first part. How you call it, like bulletproofing your player, like
yeah. Making sure we have him. He's
yeah,
ours.
exactly, making sure nobody else can call him up. But forced to call players, I don't think that was the
No,
case
no.
for many cases. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, here's another one. Another talented kid. Well, according to Pablo Miguel,
Yeah.
Seba. Would you? I mean, I would agree.
I
I would
haven't seen
agree.
much. I haven't seen much. This is the kid from Boca, right? Part of
Yes.
my
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. As I said, he surprised many
A lot of
pundits,
people.
many experts. Yeah, a lot of people, and you know, sadly, the local league is not very attractive these days. There's a lot of games. It's impossible to keep up. There's 26 or I don't know how many teams in the first
Teams.
division, so it's impossible to follow every game. But yeah, there's some very good names coming through the ranks at River, getting a chance, like Santiago Simon, who was mentioned there as well. So what we can say is that these guys, Scaloni, Samuel, Ayala, Aymar, especially, are really casting the net wide and
Everywhere.
giving players a chance.
Yeah, and it's good to see. It's very very good to see. Obviously,
Mhm.
Imad as well. I mean, he works with the youth teams very closely, and Diego Placente, I think, is with the under 17. So these are all. I mean, Imad, Placente have known each other for years,
Yeah.
decades, along with Samuel and Ajala. So these are all these are all friends, and they know what they're doing.
Mhm.
Um, we have another one that potentially maybe in a year or so.
Yeah, he's the new Messi, right?
He's the new
Okay.
Messi apparently.
That was a good
He's
shout.
the
That
new
was a good
Messi.
shout.
Yeah, yeah. Another one, Luca Romero, presently with Lazio. I'll be honest, I haven't followed his progress that much since he went to Italy, but I know with Majorca in Spain, he was getting some minutes. He was getting some
Yeah, that's the
minutes.
thing. He changed from to a bigger team in a more complex situation, so you're not seeing him play a lot of minutes. So
Yeah.
that's what I fear for Julian if he moves right now. I think Julian Alvarez should stay in Argentina, play for River.
Mhm.
Um, and Luca Romero, it's a lot younger than Julian, it has to be said. So he can still wait for his chance to come. And one more thing about all these young kids being called by Scaloni to the national team,
Yes.
nobody expect them to play. They didn't feature against Uruguay. They're not going to feature against Brazil. So
No.
it's just, I think it's an educational thing for them to gain experience, to make sure they're being looked by the national the team coaching stuff, and that they should keep their head on their shoulders, work hard, and focus on their game.
Yeah. And we're gonna focus on the next game, which is coming up
Yeah.
on Tuesday versus Brazil.
Do you guys think Neymar did everything possible to miss
To
this
get,
game?
I
Yeah,
think
he
he did.
tried to get. Yeah, he failed
I,
at that, so he's
I,
gonna have to come. Yeah.
yeah, I think he did. I mean, I don't know how. I really don't know how he did not get carded for that kind of mini headbutt on the referee.
Yeah.
But look, if we beat them or when we beat them with Neymar there, it's gonna be It's gonna be that much sweeter, that much
Yeah.
better.
I hope we
Uh,
don't have to bite our tongues next Tuesday when we do this after the game.
we'll
But
see.
yeah,
We'll see.
but I'm telling you, there's one guy that's not gonna come to Argentina, which is who's crucial for Brazil, and that's Casemiro. And I think that's gonna be that's gonna be a huge blow for Brazil.
Yeah, he's been. I remember you sent it in the chat. You said Casemiro was gonna miss the match. He got yellow carded versus it was Colombia, right, in the last match
Yeah,
for them.
yesterday. Yeah,
Yeah. I think I said something. I told you even when he plays a bad game, he's still very physical and his presence is felt. And that's
yeah,
something that Brazil's midfield they need him. Like you said, he's very important to them. So even if he doesn't have a good game, you still feel his presence and this is going to be a big miss for them. This is going to be very, very big for them.
yeah,
Uh, but at the same time, look, if he should be getting red carded every single match for the tackles that he puts in. So
yeah, yeah. As for one of the questions, somebody asked if I was going to the game. Sadly,
yes,
no. The last couple of games were really, really difficult to get tickets for because it was only half capacity and the demand was really high. So you have to go online, queue online for the tickets. It was impossible. I tried both times and I failed. But now, on top of that, I think it's going to be full capacity, but the game is not going to happen 6 blocks from where I live at
no,
River Stadium. It's going to go to a province called San Juan. It's going to the west on in the direction of Chile. Um, so it's a weekday. It's very hard to get tickets as well, but also it's impossible for me to make it because I
to
have
make
to
the
work
trip.
and it's difficult
Yeah,
to go there. So sadly, I'm not going to be there, but luckily, I'm going to be here after the game talking to you guys. Sadly for you,
no, no, no.
but yeah, no, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it just like you guys on television. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. And we're lucky to have you, Seb, and we're lucky to have
thanks,
every single
thanks.
one here. This is always fun to do. If it's your first time, hit that subscribe button. If it's not, hit that like button if you like what you see. And there's another question here. So this is something, again, his name has been thrown around a lot. Lisandro Martinez. I'll say this. I've seen a couple of Ajax games, especially this season. And he's the guy. He's
Yeah,
becoming that
they love
center
him.
back for them. They love him. They really, really do. Nicolas Tagliafico maybe a little bit less these days. He's kind of both for Argentina and for Ajax, not really getting the minutes. But Lisandro Martinez, you have to figure. I mean, it's difficult for Scaloni to pick Lisandro when Otamendi and Romero are playing so well.
Yeah,
But you have to imagine, at least after the World Cup, something's got to give when Otamendi steps aside.
yeah, and I have a feeling that once qualification to the World Cup is booked, we will see him a little bit more. We will
Yeah.
see Scaloni try a combination with Romero and Lisandro or Otamendi and Lisandro, even try different center backs. But right now, I don't think he wants to
Mm-mm.
go testing a lot. He wants to solidify the unit that he has, the Copa America winning team, this undefeated team in the World Cup qualifiers, and you have to you have to hand it to Scaloni. You have to give him credit.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's paying off. This strategy is paying off, and I don't think it's anything against Lisandro. It's more, the circumstances that,
It's playing well. You
yeah,
don't change a
yeah,
winning formula, right? Don't change the
yeah,
winning team.
absolutely.
And do you think, talking about a winning team, because Brazil are already qualified, do you think we see a different 11 for them on Tuesday?
I think they're gonna come with
They're going to go for
all they
blood.
have. Yeah, they're gonna come
Yeah,
with
they're
all
going to
they
go for blood.
have.
Yeah.
They have nothing to lose in terms of risking qualification or
Red cards
they're
or
not
anything like
worried.
that.
Yeah, they're not worried about getting a yellow and missing the next game. Whatever, they don't care about it anymore. But they wanna. No, they have blood in their eyes after the Copa
Yeah.
America.
This,
So yeah, I'm already salivating
it's,
for that game. Yeah,
this is going to be a good match. It's going to be a good
yeah,
match. And the fact that, I know a lot of people talking about, oh, it's not at the Monumental, it's not Buenos Aires. But you know what? The crowd, when they go to San Juan, when they go to Mendoza, when they go to Cordoba, the fans there, I mean, it's still Argentina fans. They're still Argentine, and they don't get to see the team play every single, every month or every year. So the fact that they're getting Argentina in the qualifiers and they're getting Argentina Brazil,
Yeah.
that's going to play a big part. They're going to play a big part.
The support is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
The stands are closer to the pitch
Then the
there,
Monumental.
so it's going to be felt a lot. And also, I'm gonna um, I'm gonna
Let's go, Seba. Let's have it. Let's go.
yeah
Let's go.
I'm gonna produce an analogy here. Fans here at the Monumental are are a bit like on a full stomach. They're used to. They they take it for granted sometimes. They're sometimes they're very demanding. They start whispering when things are not going well. In the provinces, in San Juan or places like you mentioned, Cordoba, Rosario, um, and all Salta,
Mendoza.
Santiago del Estero, all the different places where Argentina sometimes play, Mendoza, they are starving to see the national team, and they show it, and they even from the days before. And I'm not saying that it's not passionate. The fans are not passionate here in Buenos Aires, because they are, and there's people camping to get tickets. There's people queuing under the rain. The passion is there, but it's different. It's different when you feel like this is your chance. This is the only time, or maybe the last time, that Argentina play in San Juan, or
Or Messi versus Brazil in San Juan,
exactly,
the
exactly.
qualifier.
So it's gonna have a final atmosphere there. For it's gonna be huge for those fans, and I'm really glad. And you have to say as well, there's gonna be fans traveling from Buenos Aires as well. So
Of course.
the diehard fans from Buenos Aires are gonna be there. But I'm really glad that the national team is going federal, and is going to nationwide, because these fans really love the national team, and they're waiting for this opportunity for a long, long time. So I'm very happy to see that, even if it means it's far away from where I live. I don't care. We're sharing this passion with people that are
In Bangladesh,
13,
in
yeah, 13
Oceania.
hours 13 hours difference. I mean, well, that's distance, and the passion is the same or even greater. So
Yeah. This is an interesting one. Although I'm kind of not sure if I want this to happen, because we don't know what happened in 2002. But 2002, we qualified after beating Brazil 2-1. Same will happen if we win on Tuesday. That is true. I believe a victory would officially qualify us if we do end up defeating Brazil, especially because that some of the other teams
yeah.
are bound to lose as well. So that's another one. I'd rather win, maybe not 2-1, but maybe a 3-1 or anything not linking us to 2002. I think would be a good thing in that
There
match.
was this other one against. It was the next World Cup.
In 2006 with Beckerman.
Yeah, the next
Yeah,
World Cup qualifiers. We beat them
Riquelme,
3-1. Yeah,
3-1.
Riquelme.
Riquelme, Crespo, and Saviola, I believe.
That goal. You have it. You have
Of
Riquelme's
course,
goal. Yeah,
of course I
you can
have
show
it.
it. Yeah, you have it.
I'm
Let's
not sure.
show it. Let's show it.
Let's show it. Hopefully, it doesn't get blocked.
Why it's gonna be blocked if it's in YouTube? Yeah, you're taking
Yeah,
it from YouTube. Yeah,
yeah, it's from YouTube. We'll see.
yeah. We keep
Yeah,
it. Yeah, we keep it quiet. We're not gonna say. We're not gonna
we
say
won't say
that.
anything. We won't
No.
talk. Let me bring this up here.
But
Um,
imagine if we see something like that again. That
that
that day.
that left foot by
Oh
Riquelme.
no, and
Oh,
the back heel in the
the
build
back
up for the
heel.
game.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think the back heel to
today.
Luch.
Yeah, that day Roman Riquelme played out of his mind.
Yeah.
He played
Oh
out of
yeah.
his mind. He was
Uh,
let's see, let's
there you
see.
go.
It's
Let's
been a while
go.
since I last saw this. Yeah.
Let's do this.
Ahí está el Chile González con otro centro más. La regalaba Crespo, la va sacando Roberto Carlos. Argentina 28, Brasil 20
Ah,
The back heel.
para Mascherano.
Mascherano.
Es Román, invente, Román, invente. Riquelme.
I have to stop it there because I know for copyright it's going to be
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah,
low.
yeah. No, no.
But
No, let's play it safe. Let's play it safe.
ah, I mean,
Yeah, the vice president of Boca was good, yeah?
I love Riquelme. I don't know how many people know this, but Messi aside, and obviously Maradona, but him, Riquelme, and Batistuta, my favorites. Riquelme for me
Riquelme.
was. Riquelme. Yeah, it's a crime that he only played in one World Cup.
Yeah.
It's a crime because he should have been selected in 2002, should have been selected in 2010. Riquelme.
Yeah. So many memories.
Mick Norbili writes Ariel Ortega as well. Look, there was a lot of number 10s in that time. Riquelme, Aymar, Ortega, Gallardo, D'Alessandro. So you had a lot. But for me, there was something about Riquelme. He was different.
Yeah.
He was special. He was something.
Yeah, he had that element. I've seen him many times at the stadium, and it's one of those players that maybe the game goes by and you don't know what's gonna happen, what's happening because you're only looking at him. It doesn't happen with with a lot of players. I've been lucky enough to see Maradona, and of course I went to see him. I didn't care about the game. I was watching Diego. Seriously, it was one of those cams, the cameras that follow a player
around.
Yeah, this before they invented this, I was doing that on the flesh, watching Diego. That's it. That's Diego alone. And you know what? I'm gonna mention someone that's not from Argentina, but James Rodriguez. When he was very, very young, he was only
Banfield?
18. He was playing for Banfield. I went to see Racing Banfield, and I couldn't stop watching him. I said, "Who's this guy?" I mean, and just the way he walks, the way he stops the ball, controls it. You could feel that he was destined for big things. And with Riquelme, it was a bit like that. And sadly, he played against my team so many times, and he did so many wonderful things against my team. But when it comes to those players, you just don your hat, and that's it. Yeah, of course.
There's a couple of players. Rivalries, you have to put rivalries aside. I mean, you can't not support them, and I think Riquelme is one of them. A lot of Brazilians. I don't know if I'm sure maybe you've seen the statistics, Seba. I don't know if people in the chat have seen it. I don't have the exact numbers, but the amount of kids that are born every single year in Brazil with the name Riquelme is incredible. I don't have the numbers. I don't even know how I could even look it up.
But but there's I think Cruzeiro, one of the big clubs in Brazil. At some point, they have like 3 Riquelmes playing for, because they are using Riquelme. They're using a surname as if it was the first name. So my name is Sebastian. Well, they use Riquelme as the same way I use Sebastian. So it's crazy because it's one of those things that happen in Brazil. That's it.
It's another. It's wow. One last thing here, I suppose. Christian Romero. I mean, the next Roberto Ayala. Look, Ayala's on the team. Samuel's on the team. I don't know if he's learning from them, but those are not bad players to have around you when you're with Argentina.
Yeah, no, of course. The only thing I wouldn't want for Romero to happen is to be associated with so many disappointments as Roberto Ayala, because you think about him and he is in the pictures of the biggest
two big ones, Netherlands in '98 and Brazil in 2007, where he was part of that. Bergkamp, obviously incredible goal, but you watch Ayala and that, and then 2007
and also Germany 2006. There's so many bad memories associated with him, and I think it's unfair because the quality that he had, the level of performances that he provided, the leadership, he was amazing.
A rock.
But for Cuti Romero, you have to think. You mentioned a little while ago, only 9 caps, and he already has a Copa America title. So let's hope he continues to play similarly, but have the opposite results.
Yeah. There was something. I mean, I'll bring this comment up. There was something. I'm not sure if you saw it. Roy Keane today. He was talking about Harry. Roy Keane was talking about Harry Kane. Did you see that?
No.
So Roy Keane. So England was playing today against, I think, Albania.
Yeah.
And Roy Keane was talking before the match about Harry Kane, and he said Kane has to be used to disappointments. He plays for Tottenham. And look, Romero's.
Yeah.
We'll see with Conte how it goes.
Yeah, no disrespect to any sports fans that maybe I think George Leiva was there. Yeah, I think he's just, yeah, he has to be the Spurs supporter that I know. No disrespect, but yeah, let's hope that every picture of disappointment for Romero from now on is associated with that club
Tottenham.
and not with the national team. And this is with no hard feelings, and no harm meant. I mean,
No.
uh, but yeah,
It's yeah, and this is honestly a valid one as well. I mean,
yeah,
playing under Conte, that's got to be something.
that was good news when I heard. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely.
he's
It's gonna be beneficial for him.
yeah,
Absolutely.
he's been solid for them. He's been. I've tried my best to watch the most Tottenham matches I could this season, mostly because of him, a little bit because of Lo Celso as well. But he's been arguably their best player every single match. Against Manchester United, they lost, but he was there. He was shutting down Cristiano Ronaldo, Cavani, and everybody. So he's one for the future and actually the present even.
Yeah.
Copa America.
He's been a blessing for us, yeah.
He's been the lucky charm.
Yeah, long it may continue, yeah.
Yes. All right. Seba, anything else? Do you wanna?
Just as I said, salivating for Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think it feels like ages since we last played Brazil. It wasn't that long ago. We beat them at the Maracanã in the Copa America final. But
What's
then,
sorry, can you? I think it's.
we
Could you
beat
say
them.
that again?
We won the Copa. Lionel Messi lift the Copa America trophy on Brazilian soil, Rio de Janeiro, lovely
Okay.
city, lovely memories. But yeah, I think I'm anticipating. The anticipation that we're feeling is bigger because we had like a false start last
Mm-hmm.
month,
Mm-hmm.
or a couple of months ago. I don't know. I lose track
September.
of. I
September.
lose track of what happens recently. I'm not. I'm becoming. I'm becoming old. So I
No.
remember stuff that happened 20 years ago as if they were yesterday, but I don't remember what I had for lunch. But you'll get there. You'll get there. You'll remember. You'll remember this I'm
I'll
telling
say
you.
I'll say I remember Seba saying that.
Yes, but I lost track. I lose track of what happened recently. So, but yeah, very recently we jumped to the field and they interrupted the game, and we were like, "Oh, I want to play this game." But now we're gonna get the chance pretty soon. It's gonna be in a few hours, a couple of days, and we're gonna be here to discuss everything that happens after that. Um, and again, always a pleasure having people from every continent following us and talking to us, asking us questions, making very insightful comments, helping us through the conversation, because sometimes we're mentioning something and right away
Mm-hmm.
we have someone having our back
Correct.
saying, hey, yeah, this guy, that game, this year, he's this old, whatever. So yeah, thanks, you're amazing. And we only do this because we enjoy your company, and it's all for you. So have a great day, especially Vanuatu and Bangladesh, of course. Don't get mad. Bangladesh is like the capital of Argentina national team, I have
There
to
you
say.
go.
And
Yes.
Queens, New York,
Queens. There
beautiful,
you go.
beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful.
Everywhere. This is always fun. It's always a pleasure. There you go, Seba. This one's for you.
Aguante Racing, yeah.
There you go. That one's for
Grande
you.
George.
It's fun. We got another win. Maybe undeserved win. Maybe I'm not quite sure. But look, I'll take it. We got the win. The big one is Tuesday. Argentina, Brazil. We're gonna face them with fans. We're actually gonna have fans in attendance, unlike in a full stadium, I suppose. Unlike last time where there was just a couple when we won the Copa America. But we'll see. Something's gotta give it. I think it's gonna be a great game. Brazil, like we said, it's out for blood. Argentina, 27 games unbeaten, could clinch the World Cup or qualifying for the World Cup. Sorry, with the win. And let's see. MN writes 2 back-to-back 1-0 wins. I would gladly accept that. I would gladly accept that. Once more, my name is Roy Nemer of Mundo Albiceleste.com. I am joined by, as always, the living legend himself, Sebastian Garcia, the one and the only. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Really, it's always a pleasure, always fun talking to everybody, wherever you are around the world. Thank you for joining. And Tuesday, Argentina, Brazil, World Cup qualifiers. Someone just said we will thrash Brazil. I'll gladly accept that. As long as we get the 3 points, I'm happy. Be safe, everybody. Take care.